Welcome to the Lost Fjord. This week, we're hiking up to Lost Lake, 9,800 feet into the mountains. Come along. So we've made it to the trailhead, and I may have made a slight miscalculation. It's significantly cooler and windier than I expected, and I didn't bring a coat. We're going to adapt. I do have my wool blanket, so what we're going to go ahead and do is just tie this onto the bag, and if we need it, we can make a poncho. Tie it onto the loop here. Bring that loop up to some of the molly up here to hopefully keep it from bouncing too much. And we're using a super simple knot. I've got a loop in one end. I'm just going to take this, tie a loop in the other end. That way if we need it, just quick pull that one, and we're good to go. Hoping this knot holds. It may not. I have to do something a bit more secure, but we'll start with it. You guys ready? The face of readiness. The face of readiness. What most people don't realize as they're hiking to Lost Lake is you actually pass through Hesse Township, which was an old mining community from the 1800s. There aren't many structures left, but there are a few, and keep an eye out for them. Wasn't sure if that was going to hold. Let's see if we can get it set up differently. Good girl, good boy. We had some spare room in the pack, so we just moved the blanket there for now. It might be trying to tell us something. I did see a couple signs on the way into the trail that said watch for moose. I'm really hoping we get to see one. We'll keep the dogs on leash, but this is the kind of environment that moose really like. Kind of that swampy marshland that they can get easy access to water and all the things they graze on. Got a small little beaver dam here. You can see it's actually stopped up the river pretty good. Looks like the stream runs right over the road here. You can definitely tell how much more water there is in this area than what we're used to. Everything's actually green here. For the first quarter mile of the trail, we actually hike along the old service road into the area. Preparation for needing that wool blanket, we need a good rock. See up here the remnants of that dwarf mistletoe. It's a parasite that grows and creates these clumps on the trees, slowly sucking away the nutrients. Now that we've got a bit more tree coverage, the wind isn't quite as bad. We've been going for a little bit now, and thankfully I passed another hiker to confirm that we are actually going to the right place. I wasn't sure. Welcome to Indian Peaks Wilderness. Anytime I come across these notice boards, I like to give them a quick read, make sure I know what's going on and what I need to do. You see lots of these little offshoot trails here. There is camping allowed, but you do need a permit after June 1st. Like a lot of the off-road roads here in this part of Colorado, they were actually old mining routes. I spend too much time on the eastern slope of the Rockies, I forget how green everything can actually be. Another little offshoot trail here. The hillside immediately opens up after we made that first turn and started our first little initial climb. I'm thinking about when this used to be a mining road in the 1800s. I couldn't imagine hauling everything I own up this. It would be quite the time. We can definitely see the aspens own this part of the mountain. As we get around the corner, we'll see the ponderosa pines own that area. We've surprisingly made quite a bit of elevation gain since we started from way down there. We can just barely hear it over the wind, but I think around this next curve, there's a waterfall. Let's go find out. You can just see it behind these trees here. I think if we go up just a little bit further and around, we'll get a much better view. So the stream that we just passed, and you can still hear it in the background actually, once it makes it down the river, over the forest and through the woods, I think that's how that goes, it becomes part of the Boulder watershed, supplying a big chunk of that whole area's water. And it was one of the big reasons that this area was chosen in the 1800s for a mining camp. Water meant mining, water, of course, transportation, and all the good things. We can see up ahead here another little inlet for the stream. Good opportunity for the dogs to get a quick drink. And you can tell by all the greenery that this probably runs most of the year, if not all the year. You can see it sneaking through here. And just through the trees there, you can see the river. You can see it all through here is kind of marshy wetland. Again, stuff that moose and bears, even mountain lions kind of like. But we haven't seen any yet. This here would be a great little spot for a campsite. Trees all look strong. The rocks will provide a little bit of a windbreak for you as well. Good to know if you ever come camping up here. Lost Lake half mile. Though I was told this sign was a lie. Didn't realize there were quite so many waterfalls on this trail. I think we can sneak over here and get a bird's eye view of that waterfall. After going through all the trees in the forest there, it finally opens up again for us. You can see the mountaintop through the trees here. There's still a bit of snow up there. Alright, we're trying something new. We're trying doggy vision. See how long this works. Not very long at all. Did you get seasick? Much smaller stream here. Don't fall in the crack, Willow. This is an interesting hole here. I'm guessing it's the result of an old tree root that fell out, but I don't see any remnants of a tree or a root ball here. What are your guesses? Nice little widowmaker here. We're gonna quickly walk by. So, looks pretty secure. Lost Lake sits at 9,800 feet. I can definitely tell. But we're getting closer. One of the things that would be great to see on this hike, and I heard they're around, is a moose. Mooses. Meese? Moose. I didn't learn it until relatively recently, though, that moose weren't common in the area, and were actually part of a reintroduction process done in the 1970s. The lake kind of creeps up on you here. Slowly working our way around the lake. And I can definitely tell why this is one of the most photographed lakes here in the Front Range. What a view. Snow-capped mountains over there. There's even some snow there. See, this water is nice and cold. This water's all muck. As soon as they step in it, their paws come out browner. The wind finally got me. Got my hat. Let's go see if we can rescue it real quick. As a man ready for nothing and prepared for everything, here's a great example of that. I've got several batteries with this camera, and of course none of them were charged. So we're doing a small life support system. That's attached to the camera, which is attached to the battery pack, which goes in the shirt pocket. And this is why we always try to wear shirts with pockets, in case of silliness. So you can barely see it, about midway up that mountain over there. It's an old mine chute. And there you have it, Lost Lake. One of the most photographed lakes here in the Front Range. And I can definitely tell why. If you enjoyed this adventure, we'll see you next week. Hopefully it'll be less windy. So if you enjoyed the peace and quiet on today's trail, take it as a sign. I share places like this every week and hope you'll come along for the adventure. If you click that like and subscribe button, you'll hear about every new adventure, hopefully every week. And if you're looking for the next quiet hike, check out the playlists here. Explore everything, and we'll see you out there.